Hello, good day and welcome to my channel. The question here says solve 1 over 5 x raised to power minus 2 is equal to 1 over 15 x raised to power negative 1 over 2. Now the first thing that we can do here is to simply cross multiply. Cross multiply means the upper term here multiplies this, and then the lower term here multiplies the upper part. So we cross multiply now. So when we do that, this 15 is going to multiply this upper part. So it's going to give us 15 x raised to power negative 2. And that will be equal to 1 over 5 multiplied by this upper part. So it will be, 5 multiplied by this upper part, which is 5 times 1, and then multiply by the x raised to power negative 1 over 2. Now the next thing that we can do here is to simply divide both sides, because we want x to be only on one side of the equation. So we can simply divide both sides of the equation. I can divide this by x raised to power negative 1 over 2, and then also divide this by x raised to power negative 1 over 2. So that this x will cancel this. That is x raised to power negative 1 will cancel x raised to power negative 1. And then I'll be left with 5 on this side. Then to simplify this, I'm going to write the 15. And then in indices, when you have terms like this in the same base, x and x dividing each other, what you do is to subtract the powers. So I'm going to take x, which is just one of the bases, and then the power here is negative 2. Then I'm going to subtract this lower power from it. So it's going to be negative 2 and then minus negative half. Or in another way, you can simply say once this negative half is coming up, it becomes positive half. That's another way to say it. So once you have a negative sign here, if it's coming up, it becomes positive. If it's a positive sign, when it is coming up, it becomes negative. So this is like simply saying negative 2 minus negative half. And that minus will now change to plus. And that will be equal to 5, which is what is left here. So now if we add these two powers, negative 2 added to 1 over 2, you agree with me that it's going to give us negative, that is x raised to power negative 3 over 2. So negative 2 plus half plus 1 over 2 is going to give us negative 3 over 2. And that will be equal to 5. The next thing I can do here now is to divide both sides of the equation by 15, so that x alone will be left here. So I can simply divide this by 15 and then also divide this by 15. So now what do I have left? 15 we cancel 15. So on this side I'm left with x raised to power negative 3 over 2, and that will be equal to 5 divided by 1 over 15 in its lowest term is 1 over 3. So now the next thing for us to do is to see how we can make the power of x here to become 1. In order to make the power of x to become 1, what we are going to simply do here is to take this original term, x raised to power 3 over 2, and then we are going to raise it to a power which is also going to take this sign. So because this sign is negative, we're also going to give that new power a negative sign. And then what would that power be? You take the inverse of what we have here. So the inverse of 3 over 2 will be 2 over 3. So this is how to make a fractional power like this to become 1. Or this is how to make a power to become 1. So what you simply need to do is to take the same sign of that original power, and then next thing you take the inverse of the original power. So the inverse of 3 over 2 is 2 over 3, and then that same sign, negative sign, is taken. So by the time we multiply these two terms now, we now have x raised to power 1. That is, this term multiply each other is going to give us 1. So that is how to make the power of x to be 1. And then that will be equal to 1. This 1 over 3 is the same thing as 3 raised to power minus 1. Don't forget, according to the law of indices. So when you have a fraction like this, it also means 3 raised to power minus 1. And then don't forget, since we have raised this side to the power negative 2 over 3, we also do the same to this side. Whatever you do to one side of an equation, you also do to the other side of the equation. So we're also going to raise this side to the power negative 2 over 3. Then we can now simplify further. Don't forget, like I said before, this multiplied by this is going to give us 1. The negative multiply negative is to be positive. 2 cancel 2. 3 cancel 3. So here we are left with x raised to power 1 because these two powers multiply to give us 1. And that will be equal to, these two powers also multiply each other. Negative multiplied by negative, it becomes positive. So when negative 1 multiplied by negative 2 over 3 is going to give us positive 2 over 3 as the answer. So now the next thing we can simplify further, we are going to say x will be equal to, now when you want to express this in roots form, it's going to be 3, and then the roots will be that of the denominator here. So it's going to be the third root. Because of the denominator here, it's going to be the third root of 3, which is the original value. Then all raised to the power of the numerator that we have there, which is 2. So this value takes the numerator power as 2, and then it takes the fractional power, which is the denominator here, as the root. So third root of 3 squared is going to be our final answer. So we can simply express this as x is equal to the third root of 9. 3 squared is 9. And then we can leave this as our final answer. Or if you want to go further, if you want to write it in fractional form, you can still write it as x is equal to 9 raised to power 1 over 3. Don't forget, this denominator becomes, this root here becomes denominator, and then this is 9 raised to power 1, which is 1 over 3. So you can express your answer in any of these two forms. So either this way as final answer, or this one as final answer will go in the original answer. So this is the final solution. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.